ahead. It's on me.
Just one for me.
What else do you have?
Is the president okay with having a lawmaker who's accused of conspiring to act as an agent of a foreign government remain as a member of Congress?
The Admiral was just asked this question. I just don't have anything to say beyond what he shared.
Something like that would be a more accurate version, I believe.
Specifically referring to Bob Menendez's proceeding.
No, I know. And he was literally just asked this question. I'm just not going to say any more to what he just added. Yeah.
Karine, does the president feel supported by the Democratic Party writ large, by lawmakers, by his party for his actions now with regard to Israel?
Look, the president is, very much to what the Admiral just said about the moment that we're in, about what we're seeing.
お前はもう死んでいる。
This terrible event that happened. Terrible event that happened.
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
This past weekend in Israel, is that who is an ally, who's a friend, is what we saw this terrorist organization do, Hamas, which is kill hundreds of lives, take hundreds of lives, murder people, and we believe, this president believe, it is the right thing to do to continue to assist the people of Israel as they're dealing with this devastating, horrific time. And so the president, as commander-in-chief, has difficult decisions to make, right? Difficult decisions to make on behalf of the American people, right? The Admiral talked about how there's a national security piece of this as well. We have, as we all know, Americans, 27 Americans who have sadly perished, and many are still missing. 17 or so are missing. And so it is the president's duty as commander-in-chief to do everything that he can to protect us and to also assist in this horrific events that we saw this weekend.
Look, she bending over. Claude, have mercy.
More, does he feel that his party is supporting him in that? And does he sense divisions among some parts of the party?
I can't speak to, we're not sensing division, right? The president is focusing on the job at hand. The president is going to always focus and make sure that Americans and our national security is front and center, and this is part of that. But also, Israel is a friend, and what they have gone through, the people of Israel have gone through these past couple of days, is horrific. And so we are going to stand by them, as the president has said, as they go through this terrible time. Remember, they were, as you know, as you all written about, attacked by a terrorist organization. And so the president's going to continue to do his duty as commander-in-chief and as president.
You'd think so, but you'd be wrong.
We're so excited what you're doing for the...
Do you have an estimate on how many American citizens are trying to leave Israel right now?
I don't have an estimate. As you just heard from the Admiral, we announced the charter that the state is going to be running. Just don't have any intel. And the commercial flights are still ongoing in Israel, so there are opportunities for folks to leave. I just don't have any number for you.
Are there any active threats that on the domestic front that law enforcement is tracking at this moment stemming from Saturday's attacks?
What I can say is that we're always monitoring. Clearly, we're going to monitor to make sure, that to make sure if there are any threats. Obviously, we would address those. But there's nothing active that I can announce to you or lay out to you. This time.
There is.
We're monitoring right now, but there are no active threats at this time.
Now in the second week without the House having an elected speaker, does that change at all any conversations the president may be having with senior House leaders, Republicans, Democrats, about speeding this process along?
Which process?
Of electing a speaker.
Look, it's their process to run. They are, this is the House Republicans, as I've said over and over again. It is their process. The president doesn't have a vote. It is, what we're seeing is certainly shambolic chaos that we're seeing over there on the other side of Pennsylvania Avenue, and they need to get their act together. There's a lot of work that needs to be done on behalf of the American people. We've said this over and over again.
Oh! Great Odin's raven!
They need to figure this out. How are they going to select their speaker? That's up to them. But of course, the president wants to continue to move forward on making sure that the business of the American people is done. But it doesn't stop the president for continuing to do the work. We announced junk fees the other day. The president has been being pretty engaged and active every day on behalf of the American people, and that's something that he's going to do. But of course, we want to see the House Republicans get their act in order.
What did you say?
Understanding the sort of uncharted territory that this is, there is
It
not
is
a
charted
role
territory.
Yeah.
It
So,
is.
no, I understand that. So I'm asking, there's not a role then that the administration sees that the president could play here to try.
It is not for us to fix. It's not for us to fix the chaos in the House Republicans. It's not for us to fix. They have the majority, as you know, in the House. It is for them to fix. We've never seen a conference behave this way or be this chaotic. It is important for Republicans who have the majority to figure this out. And get there and get they created the situation and they have to figure it out and elect their speaker so we can move on.
Corinne, will you take our Jewish audience? So I want to talk about CPI inflation. The CPI inflation report came out today. It was hotter than expected, 3.7% year over year, unchanged from the prior month. You talk about all the spending last year to lower costs. The last couple of months, how is that lowering costs?
So, look, what we believe is that Bidenomics is in action, right? You're talking about lowering costs, right? And that's something that the president is certainly continuing to do. Inflation is falling while employment remains strong. As you speak to CPI, inflation has fallen 60%. Since last summer, and the core inflation, as you're speaking to this data, fell to its lowest level in 2 years, and so that matters. Let's not forget about wages are higher than they were last year, accounting for inflation. What? Prices fell for core goods like cars and furniture for the 4th month in a row. All of those pieces are in the data, the CPI that came out today, and that matters.
Do you even know what you just said?
People still hear Bidenomics and they see rent is up 7.4% year over year. Car repairs, car insurance is up almost 19%. So costs are not coming down for all Americans.
So here's the thing. As we know that when it comes to housing, people are still dealing with a lot, right? We understand how that economic hardship as it relates to housing specifically. That's why the president put forth a plan to deal with, on the federal level, how to help people lower costs with housing. So that is important as well. But when you think about wages are indeed up, which matters over the last year, accounting for inflation, even more for blue-collar workers and those not in management. So that matters, as I mentioned moments ago. So look, the president's going to continue to grow the economy. We talk about Bidenomics. We see the economy growing. We see unemployment at under 4%. We see jobs created under this administration as more than 13 million jobs, more than 14 million jobs at this point. And that's what we're going to focus on. When it comes to Republicans, they want to slash taxes for the wealthy. That's what they want to do. That's what they're putting forward. Cut Social Security, cut Medicare, cut Medicaid. They already started talking about that again recently. So the president's going to focus on what is needed for the American people to continue to give them that little bit of breathing room, and that's what the president's going to focus on. Let's not forget yesterday.